Good morning, Flosstube. My name is Laura, and I'd like to welcome you to Stitching by the Shore, my channel all about cross stitch. Every once in a while, we talk about something else crafty, but all my other crafty stuff is packed away in boxes and crates and all that other stuff, so it is all cross stitch today. If you are new, I want to say welcome. Thank you so much for pressing play and giving my channel a try. I hope you like what you see. Hit like, subscribe, all those good things. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for sticking with me through this crazy 2022 of my life right now and all the chaos. I really appreciate it. And thank you so much for those of you who said, don't bother taping. Honestly, my life is so much chaos right now that taping on Friday mornings is kind of a little bit of a normal schedule for me. So I've kind of kept it. And today, for anybody who doesn't know, we're moving. We're basically moving. We're selling one house in Connecticut and moving down to Delaware. And so today is fill the U-Haul day. We are not bringing a large proportion of furniture and things from here to Delaware. So we are able to do the move ourselves. And Mo picked up a U-Haul truck yesterday. And so today is filling that. And then weather permitting, we can drive down tomorrow and bring that down tomorrow. The other factor in that is, so Mo has to, we've got all our boxes and everything is everywhere. It's just a chaotic mess. And I said to Mo, I don't have to tape, because he's like, okay, I'm going to start organizing boxes and what's going to go where for the truck. I said, I don't have to tape. I can help you. He's like, no. I have a feeling both myself and Shamrock would be underfoot right now. So I think he was happy to say, go tape. And that way he can go do the organization of things and figure out what's going to go at the back of the truck or the front of the truck, however you do it. And then, organize, because he's got that brain where he can kind of fit as much in as you possibly could imagine. When we've packed our minivan to take things down to Delaware before, I'll tell him, oh, there's no way this is all fitting in. And then he fits it all in. So I think he wanted both Shamrock and I out of the way. Shamrock is laying down. Oh, he's over here. He's doing well, and I'll talk about that afterwards. Somebody did ask if I would show pictures, because some of you might have not. I think once I brought him up and held him. So at the end, maybe I'll show a couple. I found a picture of baby Shamrock, and he's 11 now, 11 and a half. So I'll show, I don't have the most recent pictures of him, but I can show you that later on. But anyway, so I'm here filming because I'm out of the way that way. Plus, I can take a breath. I can relax from the chaos. This, where I'm filming right now, was Megan's bedroom, and it is pretty much emptied of things but the furniture that's actually going to stay here. So it's a little bit quiet amid all the chaos in most of the other rooms. So anyway, I'm here. Thank you so much for being here with me. I have 6 pieces that I worked on this week, and I'm going to do them partially the way I was doing them for the Stitch the Winter Olympics. It was a stitch along, hashtag Stitch the Winter Olympics by thenaptimestitcher. I linked her down below at the very beginning of the description box, because I referenced this stitch along or event, or whatever you want to call it, in my videos. So I like to have it right up front. Everything I talk about will be in the description box below, so just check it out. If you have any questions, feel free to ask as well if I didn't give you the info properly. This piece of hair is driving me nuts. I was all set and ready to film, and then I realized when I have Shamrock here with me, he's older and he has to do his business more often, and he hadn't done it, so I wanted to take him out before we came up so he didn't start whimpering halfway through the video. Well, it is nasty outside with freezing rain and sleet and all that good stuff. And so now I'm very flat and all over the place, because even though I tried to do an umbrella, because he was not stepping outside unless I covered him with an umbrella, I ended up getting all wet and he stayed dry. So I'm already a mess this morning, already a mess. But let's just go right into the stitching so that we can talk about some fun stitching stuff. I have 2 that are digital that I will show you off of the, I have 3, but I didn't put one on the iPad this morning. Oh well, we'll just work with it. And then I have some that are non-digital that I can just show you the patterns themselves. All right, so first one I pulled out. So this was day 15 of the Winter Olympics stitch. We had 17 days total. And this one was to stitch something with flowers or floral motif. Now, I am nowhere near the flowers or floral motif of this, it's flowers, but it has flowers in it. So I figured it counted, and I had been really wanting to work on a full coverage lately, and I love this one. So this is called Hidden Harbor. The artist is Andy Russell, I believe. Yes, Andy Russell. So that's what it looks like. And I happened to also see it, I don't know if it was after I had stitched on it on Friday or before. Noah Stitches, I think that's his Instagram handle. He is working on this. He's doing it as a stitch along with somebody else, and I really don't remember who else it was. And he's farther than me. He's actually down to flowers on one side, and it looked so beautiful that it got me wanting to stitch this again. So I pulled it out and stitched on it. And so I gave it time on Friday, and then what I tried to do for the rest of the week was to try to get in, you know, a few strands every single day, because I feel like that's how I can get a little bit more progress if I give it a little bit of time, as well as like a day's worth of stitching. This is just on an 18 count white Aida, and I use a brand called Caydo, C-A-Y-D-O, that I get off of Amazon, and I can get a yard for like $19. So, and it works. It's not quite, it's stiff enough, but it's not the really, you know, really stiff stuff. So that's what, make sure I'm holding it right. That's what it looks like. I know it doesn't look like much. I mean, so we haven't gotten to the end of page 1 yet, but I have done a crossover into page 2 there. I'm trying to, you know, blend things in so it's not super noticeable. And then I keep going back and forth. I'm like, oh, let's do a different color, and then, oh, let's do some more of that. So I'm not doing it in squares, you know, like, you know, I know some people like to do it in the little squares. I'm not doing a color complete. I'm probably doing it the least efficient way you possibly could do a full coverage, but I'm enjoying it, so that what counts. I'm not doing like anything parking wise. I'm just stitching like I normally stitch. It is 2 strands on the 18 count, and it seems to be okay. So that's where I am. I have to say I've really enjoyed stitching it, and I'll have to figure out if there's a way that I have I think I have 3 full coverages that I have started, and it would be nice to have them somewhere where maybe I could just stick in a strand or 2 a day on one of the projects, and, you know, for a couple weeks do that and get a little bit of progress, and then keep rotating them somehow or other. I'll have to figure that out. But that's where it is. Of course, I started where it was nothing but like sky and everything else. So nothing has emerged yet as, ooh, I can see something in the picture, but I'm getting there. So that is Hidden Harbor, Heaven and Earth Designs. Okay, next one is, it's called Delaware, and who's it from? Because it's VladaXStitch. And I did not, let me see if I can find it quickly on the iPad. This poor little stitch, I ironed everything else and for some reason didn't iron this one. So it is not ironed. And VladaXStitch Etsy, there you go. And I'll probably have to search Delaware because it's not going to be at top, I'm sure. There it is. So it didn't get ironed, didn't get found on the iPad right away. Poor little thing. So that's what it looks like. I am not stitching the word Delaware. I'm just stitching the state itself. I love the colors. I love the look of this. I had such a hard time stitching this week. So I'm at the point now, I've finished the top part of the state, and I'm starting to work down here. And this area, you know, before you get to the water, is all the different colors of sea grass. Not sea, but I don't know, whatever it is, the different types of grasses or whatever comes out. And there's like 3 different colors. There are 3 different colors, not like, but there are 3 different colors. And whatever reason, my brain, I would look at it and then I'd go to stitch it, and I had to keep going back and forth checking it. So as a result, I didn't get as much done as I was really hoping. That's what it looks like so far. This is done on an 18 count beach glass from Vintage Needle Arts. And if I come up close, you'll see I did a little bit finish here, but it was really this area. And I had done a little bit of start last time you'd seen it, and I just kept going, and oh boy, it has been a challenge. Now, I'm almost out of that part, and then I can, there'll be a section here, and then there'll be some more of that again, but I'm hoping that next time I go to stitch it, I think my brain is just too overloaded with all the things that we have to do that sometimes some of these stitches, I just keep second guessing myself. This was for day 16 of the Olympics, and it was a piece of your choice. Now, this was last Saturday. Last Saturday, we had been planning to do the trip, get the U-Haul that week and bring everything down last week and be in Delaware. But then obviously with Shamrock's High and having to go see the vet this week, we had to stay in Connecticut. So I said, if I can't travel down to Delaware, then I'm going to stitch on Delaware. So that was my choice and why I chose it for day 16 of the Olympics. And that's VladaXStitch. I'll link down below. I do link everything. Okay, next. This one was day 17 of the Olympics. It was the final day of the Olympics, and the thought was to stitch on something that you would complete in 2022. Well, I have been working on this one faithfully every single week. It's the only piece that you see every single week that's exactly the same. It is from Jardin, Prive, Lady Halloween. On my comments, I'm getting a little lazy and I put Lady H, but it's Lady Halloween. I am stitching it. This one is showing it 3 colors, the black, the dark gray, and the lighter gray. I did switch out the lighter gray because of my fabric choice. They do show it, for example, she had shown it when you went to buy it, you could do on a couple different colors. That way, you could do completely monochromatic black. And what's really cool is she's shown a couple of people have shown how they've stitched it. So this person stitched it on a orange fabric, but kept the 3 different kind of, the black, gray, and gray. And so that was a finish there. And then this one, I remember, let me see. Then this one, I remember seeing this on Instagram. So cool. And it's done on a very lightly orange modeled, but they changed out and used a lot of oranges and reds. So you really could have so much fun with this one if you chose it. And I know some of you have said you want to stitch it or you've chosen to stitch it, and I'm so excited. I cannot wait to see what you do. And if you are stitching it and you're not anywhere, please send me pictures because I'd love to see it. When I stitched this, I had said, hey, does anybody want to stitch it along or do it as well? So Gail Phillips had said, yeah. And Gail's is beautiful. Please go see Gail. She's linked below and see her progress on it. And so we started a stitch along. It's hashtag ladyhalloweensal. So if you start stitching it and you want to put that on Instagram, or you can tag things on YouTube if you have a Flosstube. I have no idea. Can you search a hashtag? I assume so. Why else would we do them? So you could see Flosstubers maybe who maybe hashtag it, looking at it too. Like I said, Gail is doing it monochromatic, except for a couple pieces of color here and there. She's using black silk on a Bestitch Me fabric, I think. I think it's Bestitch Me, and it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So go check out Gail. But me, let's look at mine. 18 count, I'm gonna remember this time before I say anything else. 18 count Smoky Amethyst from To Die For Fabrics. So to see all of it, that's how close I can get. And I continued, first off, I did some more on this side. So I accidentally, somewhere along the way up here, I had miscounted. And so it's over 1 than it should be. And if you'll notice on this side, you see how she kind of has everything even out on the side. Well, that meant I had to do a little creative counting and stitching. And what I've done is not every piece would be completely even, but a good portion of them are. So I had to finish some of this, then I could start this, and then just keep going with that. So that was part of what I did. The other thing I did, so there are some cobwebs along the way. Let me see if I can find the thread I chose, because I don't even know what it is, so I just wanted to show it to you. I don't know how or why I have this fabric, but I had first thought, oh, maybe I should do the cobwebs. See how there's a cobweb up there? In white, you know, just to let it pop a little bit more than what the light gray is. But then, like I said, I'm not exactly sure how or why I have this, and I don't know what kind of DMC it is. It says E5200. It's not Etoile. It's stiffer, and it's, I don't know, more metallic-y. I'm not exactly sure what type it is. It doesn't really say, does it? No. No. So I'm just guessing, but I said, let's try the, it's got like it's a little bit different than the Etoile, not like a glittery sparkle, but when the light hits it, it's got almost like kind of a rainbowish look to it. And I said, oh, well, you know, when you see a cobweb up close, which I really don't try to because spiders kind of scare me, that's what a cobweb can look like, you know, when the sun hits it. So I did do all of that. It wasn't too bad to use. I have no idea if I'm supposed to not like using this or not, because I know some of them people say are really hard to use. It seemed to be okay. I again used shorter lengths, and all I was doing was kind of back stitching, so it was all right. I figured I would do that one. There's more cobwebs over here, and I think somewhere over here there might be some more. I figured I'd do one first, see how it looks and sits, and then I'll go back and do some more. So that took me a little while figuring out what I was doing and everything else. But now our spider is complete over here. So this top section, yes, because once I had the spider web, I could stitch the H without worrying about everything being wrong. So this top section is now complete, that top quarter of the piece. So I did focus there, and then I focused down here. And we're getting there. So if anybody knows what kind this is, I'll put it down. I don't know if the E means anything in front of the 5200. I'll put it in the description box. I talk about what colors her hair are. I talk about what color Etoile I used for the frog. I talk about what change I've made on this lighter gray, because the one that the called for was blending into the fabric. So you can see all of that in the description box if you want. But this is a 2022 finish. Absolutely, absolutely. I'm looking so forward each week to stitching it, and I will be a little sad when she's finished. So that's Lady Halloween. Let me put this floss back in the Ziploc bag so I don't lose it. Okay, next. We had finished the Olympics at this point. Now it was me back to just choosing my pieces. If you are newer, I don't have any rhyme or reason. I just basically look at what I have and I pick something out. What called me for this one this week was it was very close to a finish. And so far what I've been doing for the last 3 weeks or so is I've been looking through what I have, and if something is really close to a finish, then I pull it out. And this might be it. Sorry. This might be it of the pieces that are this close to a finish. I have to wait till I get back to Delaware because everything else I have up here now needs a lot more work. But this one was close enough, so I decided to pull it out. It's Prairie Schooler. It's from the Prairie Schooler Santa's Revisited 2. Oh, I have to be careful turning this because there is a pattern on the back. And I believe it's the 1989 Santa. Yes, so 1989 Santa. And that's this one right here. So that's what I stitched and finished. And there he is. Oh, let me go back a little bit. Last week we had to worry about the sun. There is no sun today, not worrying about that. 18 count Jade from Picture This Plus. I would have bought this from 123 Stitch, I'm sure, this fabric. And the change I made, as you know with my Prairie Schooler Santers, I have changed his face color because it's too pink for me. And I don't know, maybe because I was away from stitching and I'm back, I don't have that hesitancy of feeling like, oh, I shouldn't change a Prairie Schooler, because I don't have that connection as, oh, you don't touch them kind of thing. So I have no problem changing out. So I did change out his face color. Down below in the description box, I do say, if you have trouble finding it, reach out. I'd be happy to tell you what color it is. And I also, this was charted with, the white was charted as a beige, and I just went whiter. And I can't remember which one it is. It's in the description box below. So you know, depending on what fabric you use, what they gave as a charted color would be fine. But on this, it looked a little bit too beigey. And so I chose to change that up as well. Otherwise, I have everything as charted. So that's the second one done. Well, out of this. So I have, see, I got 2 of them. And on this chart, the only one I have left is the one with the pineapple. So those are those 2. And this is my current finish. So that's that. All right. I enjoy them. I mean, I don't know if I would stitch all of them. And I have, you know, definitely some more charts of other ones that I do want to stitch. But it's just something that I enjoy doing every once in a while and keeping up with it. All right, two more pieces. This one, I think I started last week, and I really, really enjoyed it. So I decided I wanted to keep stitching it. It's Blue Flower, or no, it's from the Blue Flower, and it's called Tudor Bee. That's what it looks like. This is one of those where farther away seems to be better. If I go too close, it seems to darken things up. So that's what it looks like. Beautiful on the neutral fabric that is used there. Model was stitched on a 40 count fennel seed linen, it looks like, from Color and Cotton. You know that I very rarely actually do what's anywhere close to called for. Although the next one you see is closer to called for. There it is. 18 count Blue Moon from To Die For Fabrics. I wanted to get the whole top, just so this is the length of it at this point. And I really enjoy these colors on this fabric. I haven't done the white yet. I'm curious to see. In this, it'll be fine because the white is always surrounded, like even in the bee itself, in the bee's wings, it's surrounded by another color, so it'll be fine. But I'm just always curious. I like to see with my blues, when the light colors show up, what they look like. So I'll let you know more on that one. I am using DMC Conversions. It is charted in silk. And I went with DMC and all the called for conversions that she gives. That's Tudor Bee. And, oh, before I forget, I didn't even have it in my notes. I started this one. The reason why I had started it actually was in the month of February. Carla from Carla Being Crafty is doing a stitch along. Hashtag Be My Own Valentine SAL. Be My Own Valentine SAL. And basically just stitch anything with a bee on it. Carla is doing a super cute piece, and she's recharged some of the words on it. I just decided I wanted to stitch this. I had it with me. It was really pretty. I love the colors. I love those kinds of pinks and mauves, shades, especially on this kind of fabric. So that's that. Oh, we're hearing fire trucks in the distance. I hope everybody's okay. Alrighty, so that is that one. I have one more piece. And this piece is a new start, actually. I really wanted to start at this at the beginning of the week. It probably either would have been my choice for flowers, day 15 or day 16, a piece of my choice. For some reason, I was missing the DMC. This is charted in Color and Cotton, I believe, with the DMC alternatives. And I didn't have the one that was the border, and everything was gonna bounce off the border. So I did a quick trip to Michael's and I bought a small amount. I didn't buy a lot. Just for this piece, and I think it was, I had a couple other pieces missing, floss is missing, so I just kind of shored up a few of the patterns I had here. But it's Artist Designs, the Love Boats Sampler. I have no idea when this came out. I've had it for a little while, and I knew what fabric I wanted to stitch it on. I love it on the pink. I don't have, right here it doesn't say, because I don't have the piece open that says, let's see, does it say here? It's stitched on a 32 count petunia pink linen. I don't know if she says, yeah, the fabric was from Color and Cotton. And then she does chart it in Color and Cotton. Now she purposely did it on a 32 count. If you were to do this, or a 16 count Aida, obviously, it would fit in a standard 8x10 frame. So if you really like this and you want to do it in a standard frame, 16 or 32 count will get you in a standard frame. I love the pink. You know I love my 18 count, so I did go with an 18 count. This one's a little pinkier than what I ended up with. I loved this fabric. I had bought this a while ago. And as soon as I saw this design, I said, I want to do it on this fabric. And I don't know how well you're going to be able to see. That's what it looks like. This is an 18 count. It's called Lighthearted from Dying for Cross Stitch, Kathy. Kathy might be Davidson. I'm not 100% sure. I'll link her down below. She used to be only on Facebook. Now she has an actual standalone website, and that's where you buy. Well, she did have it, but it was open and closed kind of thing. Now she has it open all the time, and you can pre-order colors. But I love Kathy's fabrics. They are wonderful. If you've never tried them before, this is Aida, and this is soft. Stands up a little bit better for stitching than, say, Picture This Plus. You know that's probably my least favorite of the Aidas, because even though it's soft, the holes and squares do not pull like they do on Picture This Plus, at least for me. I don't know, maybe it's the way I stitch. So this is what I decided. Now, obviously, it's a little bit less pinky. It's a little bit brighter or lighter. And I love, 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 love all the colors on them, except there is, for the whiter parts, it is DMC 3866. So you can see here, see how like all the floral elements, the boats, they all have that color. And I had stitched, see, even on the camera, it's hard to see. I had stitched that, and I said, oh no, that's blending in. And I mean, I don't necessarily want it with these big flowers, not being able to see it. I mean, in person, sometimes, you know, people say, oh, you can't see it on the camera as well, but you can see it in person. You can't really see it as well in person either. So I'm debating on whether or not I want to do like maybe a very pale blue, because there is some blue. So what I would do is I would try to go from what she's charted and try to go a lighter version along that kind of blue, whether it's a blue or a gray blue or whatever it happens to be. Because there's a lot of pinks already, so I decided I didn't want to go. And I think, do you see, it's kind of a peachy color that goes with the flowers. I think a very pale blue would go nicely. So you can see I stitched one of the petals of that flower. So tell me what you think. Do you think a light blue would go, like a very pale blue? It would be the lightest version I could find because there's already 2 shades here. Or do you have another suggestion? I am more than happy to hear suggestions. Many times you all think of things that I should have thought of and I just never did. I think a white, I mean, I could go a whiter white, but I think I'd prefer to kind of keep this color scheme. And that's why I was thinking about the lighter blue. And of course I'd have to stitch it on here and see if it will show up as well, you know, do a little test. But let me know your thoughts. I love these other colors though on this fabric. It is really, really pretty. So this is actually the width of it at this point. So, you know, I don't know, the way the pattern was, it's folded, and it's like a folded in threes, and there's 2 pages to it. And because, you know, it's a long enough pattern. And for some reason I had it turned the wrong way. So I started in my corner and I started stitching. And then I kind of looked at the 2 pages just to and I realized that I was stitching across what was supposed to go down. So I had to take everything out before I actually could even start the official stitching of this piece. But now I have it right. And it totally, you know, if I looked at it for 2 seconds, because the bottom of it is water. So I kept thinking, why is the side of it like straight stitched like that, you know, whatever. Yeah. And if you stitch this, which is so much fun to stitch, she's tricky because not everything is exactly the same. Some of the number of stitches in the border are different. How the flowers are done are a little bit different. There's different, even in the boat sail itself, the numbers were a little bit different. So you got to pay attention. I'm really enjoying it, and it's charted nicely. It's not like it's hard to follow, but don't just go along without counting and checking, because she's got a few tricks in there. But that's what it looks like. I love your suggestions, comments about that color to change it off, and what do you think a light blue, a very pale blue would look like. So that's that, and that's my stitching. I have been waiting for ages to start this. I had in my mind for some reason said I'm going to start it in February. I don't know, maybe it's the color of the fabric or whatever. So I've had this sitting and waiting and waiting. So that was it. I said this week, February's almost over, right? So I got to get at it. And I started this 2 days ago, I think it was. Yeah, 2 days ago. And then I kind of stopped because I wanted your opinions about that color. So I didn't do any of it yesterday. And that's it. Those are my stitching pieces this week. Plans for next week? Well, Lady Halloween, of course. I don't know. I don't know what will or won't be stitched over the first part of the weekend, obviously. Again, today we'll see how much stitching. There's a few pieces of furniture that, for those you don't know, because where my son is in college, we're going to rent a very small place here for the next year, and it's kind of like a landing pad. So if we go to pick him up, or we have all our family still in Connecticut, so if we come to visit, we have a place to stay, because nobody's houses really have the space for us to stay if need be. So there are a few pieces of furniture that right before the closing will get moved over there. So I would have a place to sit and stitch because we're running out of furniture here. And if he wants me out of the way for a little bit, I might get some stitching in. Or I just might be tired if I have to lift boxes and stuff. You know that physically I have all sorts of issues when it comes to arthritis. So we'll see how much I can actually do. Sometimes I'm more of a hindrance than a help when it comes to that. Because I'll be like, okay, I can't hold it anymore. So that, and then tomorrow, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, whether or not we actually make the trip. It is sleeting, snowing, nasty out right now. I don't know if that's all freezing before tomorrow morning. Normally, we're the type that gets up and goes. But you know what? I'll talk about it in a minute because some of you are not going to care. You want to hear about like giveaways and all that other stuff. So remind me to come back to that. So anyway, I have a few pieces of happy mail I wanted to just show, and then I'm going to show those 3 Heaven and Earth designs I picked out a couple weeks ago that I bought on the sale because I have no other shopping to show you, and then we'll do the giveaways. Okay, so just look at this lovely card I received. Charlotte, thank you so much for your lovely card and note. I cannot wait to get my crafting area in Delaware all set up, and I've got all of the notes and messages from all of you when you've sent them, and I don't know how or what I'm going to keep them as memories, but I've kept everything that people have given me. So thank you so much for that. And then a lovely friend had these two Just Cross Stitch magazines and said they really weren't going to stitch anything out of them. Would I want them? I love looking through magazines, and I can always find, there's some beautiful stuff in magazines. And I shop at Michael's, and I never find cross stitch stuff at Michael's ever for magazines, ever. So it's so nice to get a chance to look at these in person. This is the February 2022. And what's so cool is, so I love this. Would I stitch it like this? Probably not. But I have a design that I haven't showed you yet that I got off of a Facebook group. And I have to, once I decide on fabric, I want to show you. I don't want to put the words, and it's a winter. So I was thinking, oh, this is awesome, because I am going to pick, there's different sizes and designs of snowflakes, and that would be perfect to put where the words are in that pattern. So that was the first thing I noticed when I saw this. I said, this is going to be perfect for that other pattern. I don't know if you all are like me. When I look at magazines, I flip through first. I do a flip through and look at everything. Then I do a second flip through and I really take note of things. Then I do a third flip through and I read articles, or I really read some of the other stuff. And then I kind of make my decisions and ideas. It's the same thing with cookbooks. I love reading cookbooks. I don't know. It's just a thing for me. But so I am so thrilled with these because I've done my first pass through. I had to do that when I got them. And then now they'll get packed so they don't get lost. And I'll be able to sit down and really look at these. The other one is April 2022. Look at that beautiful front cover piece. That's gorgeous. There's some really pretty things in both of these. And so I'm super excited to do my second and third and fourth pass-throughs. I'm looking at these. Oh, Mill Hill has some. For those of you who like to do Mill Hills, they have some beautiful spring pieces coming out. Look at that. So anyway, thank you so much to my friend. When I got that, when the mail came, I was so excited, and I just had to stop and look and just enjoy the stitching. So thank you. That really, it gave me a bright spot. I appreciate it. Okay, so shopping. I have something that, well, at this point now, I am no longer using the Connecticut address. I'm having everything forwarded to Delaware, and then I have the Delaware address that I've been using. So let me just X out of, there we go. This will probably look better this way, sideways. I'm only using the Delaware address at this point, if anybody was wondering. And yeah, I just have to remember, I think this past week's giveaway, because I was shipping it from Connecticut, I used the Connecticut address. But from here on out, I have to remember to ship everything, because the way my shipping site is on the computer setup, it defaults to Connecticut, so I got to figure out how to fix that. But at this point, anything I have will be going right to Delaware. So what was it? 2 weeks ago, Heaven and Earth Designs was having a 50% off sale. And, you know, I always kind of, look, I held off and I held off until like the last day of the sale. I said, well, especially if I'm looking at minis. I mean, minis are like $6, right? So what's the harm in like picking up a few? Just, you know, in case I feel the desire to stitch something that's a little bit more full coveragey. So I picked up 2 minis and 1 regular. I haven't really, when I look at the regulars, I do look at what the final size is. And there's some beautiful pieces, but they are huge. And I don't know if I would ever do those. My Hidden Harbor is considered a regular size. It's not a mini, but it's not one of the gigantic regular sizes. So, you know, I'm still at that point of my full coverage journey where I haven't really gone to the really, really full, huge full sizes. So anyway, this first one, I just like this. These are more, 2 of these are more cutesy of the 3. I like so many different designs and patterns. I think you kind of would realize that by seeing what I stitch. I'm not really one type of stitcher, whether, you know, it's, you know, samplers or prim or cutesy or fantasy or whatever. I like everything. I really adore everything. So what I have ends up being eclectic. And the first one is more of the cutesy line, and it's Mini Owl in Poppy Field. I love the colors. I think it's so cute, and I love the big eyes on the owl. So that was the first one. Now this one, I debated back and forth on whether or not to get the mini or to get the full size. And the mini one, the colors just didn't look the same. And I don't know if that was just the picture on the screen or if it's because it was a mini versus a full size. So I did go with the full size on this one. And this is like totally different. This is totally different. I don't know why I'm doing the whole like thing today. I feel like I'm going back to my teenage years. Anyway, it's Little Red Riding Hood. I have always loved pops of color patterns when you have the deeper darks, you know, so this is the blacks and the grays and then the whites, and then you have her pop of red. So I picked that one up. That one is bigger, I'm not gonna lie. It is 400 by 551. So that will be a commitment, I gotta say, when I finally choose to stitch it. Finally, we're back to kind of that cutesy look. It's the dog. And I have a couple of this designer's patterns in my wish list. And so I went through and I said, I'm gonna take one. I'm gonna buy one of them. It's a mini again. And I think given the design, I don't think it loses too much, hopefully, being a mini. But it's the dog that got me. This one's called Mini, yeah, it's Mini Paris Morning. Look at the little dog as he's begging. I have a little white doggy myself, so it's just kind of looked like Shamrock. And oh, so there's a couple of these from this designer that are really cute, but I went with this one. So that's it. That's what I got. There's always stuff on the wish list. Those are really dangerous, doing those wish lists, because then you flip through when there's a sale and say, oh, well, maybe I'll get this now. But anyway, those were my purchases from the sale a few weeks ago. All right, giveaways. So we have two pieces of business. This morning I went to Fire Poppies and I bought the gift certificate, and I've already gotten an email about it, so that whoever wins it, I think there's a number I have to give you. There's a code. So whoever wins this, please get a hold of me either through my Gmail address or Instagram and tell me what email you would like me to send the code to. Or I suppose even on Instagram, if you DM me, I could probably, actually, however you do it. I don't need an email like I would a digital pattern. I'll just respond, whether it's your DM on Instagram or your email on Gmail. I'll just respond to you with whatever the code is. Okay, so it's a $10 gift certificate from Fire Poppies. I hope those of you who have never seen them before, check them out. They're a great store for customer service. They answer questions really quickly. I don't know during market, they may not answer as quickly once they go, because I think most of them are, more than one of them are going. So I don't know if so that market weekend kind of give them a little leeway, but they're great at answering questions. They send stuff right away when I have ordered from them, and I've had great experiences with them. So, and if you watch Janet Jabber, she was just down in that area for a kind of Flosstube friends get together, and they went to Fire Poppies, and you can hear about her great experiences. All right. So the winner is, let me pull one name out, and who is it? It is Quiltma Sue Gooden. I know you are a friend who visits me quite often, so thank you so much for always watching and for commenting, and congratulations, you've won the gift certificate. So if you could get back to me, and I will respond with your code, and you can go shopping, have a little fun shopping. Okay, this week, I am going to give away one of the things you saw last week. I had shopped at Tropical Stitches, and I had picked up some 14 count Bambino. So it's that's a good shade of it. It's a light blue. It's a very subtle light blue. It is a 14 by 20 piece. So it's a good size. See here, it looks a little lighter. It's a light blue. It's not gonna be like the deeper, It's not going to be the deeper blues. I'm going to stop with the like than what some of the ones I use, but it's very pretty. It's a nice aida that Tropical Stitches uses. And if you would like me to put your name in for this giveaway, please just use the word tropical. If you've never been to her site before, it's tropical. I'll link it because I don't want to say the wrong thing. She has some ready to ship pieces, which is what this was. And then she has a section that you can order, pre-order. I have never pre-ordered from her, so I don't know her timeline for dyeing. I've always just ordered the ready to ship. I want to say that she does a focus on colors that, on the pre-order section, colors that are good for even like the sampler, sort of that whole vibe. I'm not 100% sure because I could be confusing my hand dyers right now, but I want to say that that's kind of what her focus is. When it comes to the ready to ship, her customer service is fabulous. These things go out very quickly if you order from the ready to ship. So please say the word tropical and I will put your name in for this 14 count Bambino. Very pretty blue. And that's that. Okay. That's all the, because I kind of rambled with life stuff, I was rambling. I went a little longer with that. So that's the stitching. Thank you for sticking through it all. If you don't care about the life stuff, I appreciate you sticking all the way through to this part. Life. Okay. First off, before I forget, because I know somebody had requested, they had asked if I could show a picture of Shamrock. First, and this is amazing to me. It is amazing that, no, this way would be better. That baby Shamrock looks so different. Baby Shamrock, look at him. He was black and white and kind of brownish and so cute. He was probably about 5 pounds when we got him-ish. He was the tiny little thing. And then he became an all-white dog. So he looks different depending on his haircut at any given time. Right now, because of his eye issues, we cut him really, or we had them cut him really tight to the face. So he's got almost like that poodle cut. This one cracks me up. He doesn't like, he's hilarious. He's not very, he doesn't like getting his photo taken. So, but that's my little Shamrock. He did go to the vet yesterday. His eye is continuing to look okay. We are going to continue with the drops, and that's the only thing. We're not going to do any of the other gels for now. Because we do have to go down to Delaware. He's got an appointment in 3 weeks' time. Hopefully there won't be any emergency visits before then. I'm hoping he'll do okay. And we're just to keep the drops and see how he does in 3 weeks. He is losing a little bit of weight. He had lost some over the last, week since he's been at the vet since. That was a little concerning, but he's not acting like he's got distress in his gastro like he would. So we're not 100% sure. She said the steroids could cause him to lose muscle mass. Once this weather is nice, I'm hoping we can get him out walking more and maybe he can keep that muscle mass. He's been since this eye issue, he's pretty much just laying down. So he's probably losing a bit of muscle mass. And I don't know if the stress of everything, our house is a disaster. Where he eats now has got piled up stuff and all the rooms and everything's different. So I don't know if that's affecting him a little bit as well. It's not affecting his appetite, but I don't know if he's feeling it. And then, if he's just feeding off of Mo and I, because we have so much in our head that's going on that we're here and there and everywhere. So thank you so much for all of your well wishes with Shamrock, and I am just hoping that he continues to heal slowly, but that he continues. Other than that, so it is yucky here today. I said the weather, it couldn't have cooperated with us. We are at this point now, I still hear it hitting, so I think it's not straight rain. I think it's still freezing rain or sleet. We got a layer of snow, and then we're getting this icy, yucky stuff. And it's supposed to continue for a good portion of the day. My concern is that tomorrow morning, even if we do get up to rain right now, everything's going to freeze over because it's going to be cold overnight. I don't know about the rest of you, but when we go on trips or we go somewhere like going down to Delaware or whatever, Mo and I we are get up early and go kind of people. It's just the way we are. The kids, when they're in their teen years, didn't always love that, but we would just say you could sleep in the car. Just get up, get your little body to the car, and then you can sleep. So our plan would have been to leave tomorrow morning at 6:30 in the morning. My concern is obviously if everything's icy, and I don't want to be driving that, and then I don't want to worry about Mo driving a U-Haul truck and that. So I don't know whether we leave later tomorrow and just do that, in which case I don't even know if I'd get any stitching in unless I'm just sitting around waiting to leave because everything's going to be packed at that point. Or we can get out, or if it's really bad, we might just wait and then leave on Sunday morning and go down. Kind of depends. The truck is supposed to be back on Sunday down there, so we kind of have to finagle things or figure out schedule-wise. So I don't know what kind of stitching this weekend. I will try to get some in because I'm telling you, it is amazing how it just stops the chaos in the brain because everything is just so everywhere is the only way I can put it. That I love stopping to stitch for a little bit. And I love it watching Flosstubes when I do so because it gives me a chance to just relax with somebody, and stitch with you while you're talking and everything else. Or sometimes I just watch a silly show if I need that too. So this weekend's a little up in the air, but my plan is, I've got a doctor's appointment in Delaware on Monday, so I have to be down there. So I was like, I gotta go and we gotta get our stuff down because we are now a few weeks away. We are potentially 3 weeks away from a closing date here. So now we really gotta get rid of everything. We can't wait anymore. We can't just hold it because in 3 weeks, the house won't be ours anymore. So, that's good though, because the way I figure it, spring will start, everything will be done with the house, and then we can breathe. We can exhale and just relax and enjoy spring. So, especially down at the beach. So, that's my end game right now. That's what I've got my eye on for everything. So, that's that. So that's I should be coming at you, short of something being wrong with Shamrock, from Delaware next week. The week after that, spring break. We have no idea exactly what's going on with that. Well, I know more so with Megan than Connor, but because Megan only gets a partial spring break because of lacrosse. But I don't know exactly what Connor is doing yet. So Connor, if you're watching, make sure you're checking out and letting us know. Because he does watch once in a while. Megan starts her season tomorrow, actually. Sadly, we're going to miss the first game because we have to get this stuff transported. She doesn't watch, so she won't even know that I said that. But, yeah, so hopefully there will be some trips to watch some lacrosse games, especially as the spring gets nicer. And, yeah, I'm looking forward to quiet, dull times. I really, really am. I am so ready for not having to do something for an entire weekend. Last weekend we did the final push, attic, basement, all that kind of stuff packing. So we are, pretty much everything is as boxed as it's gonna be. I'm running out of clothes to wear because most of my stuff is all either down in Delaware or it's packed at this point. But that's it. That's pretty much it. So we have got a end line in sight for house stuff, and I am super, super excited about that. And then hopefully when we get all my stuff crafting wise in Delaware, I can start figuring out how I want to organize it. I can pull out my scrapbook stuff to maybe start doing some stitching scrapbook stuff along with my stitching, and super, super excited that I can have everything in one place and see what I can do. But that's it. That's all I got. I hope you are well. I hope you are safe. I hope so many places in the U.S. have been hit by some of this crazy weather and the cold and this and that. And I'm done. I don't know about the rest of you, but I am done. Let winter go. Let's have spring. Let's do it. I am all set for that. But I hope you're well wherever you are and whatever you're doing and wherever in the world you are, because in some places, some of you are in the middle of your summer. I hope it's going okay wherever you happen to be. And my thoughts, anybody who may be in the Ukraine area or any of the bordering areas, my thoughts are with you, and I am really, really, really hoping for safety and for some peace at some quick date for all of you. I'm just keeping everyone over in that part of the world in my thoughts in such a scary, difficult, trying time. So I am thinking of you, and that's really all I have to say about that. all of us, I hope we're doing okay. And let's help each other out as best we can if we need it. I'm here for you if you need anything. And that's about it. Until next time, happy stitching.